Most people wait. They wait to feel inspired, they wait for the perfect mood, they wait for confidence to arrive like a visitor knocking on the door of their lives. They wait for motivation as if it is some reliable force that shows up on time, every day, without fail. But motivation is emotional, temporary, unpredictable. It rises and falls with sleep, with praise, with comfort, with weather, with circumstances beyond your control. Discipline, on the other hand, does not care how you feel. Discipline does not negotiate with your emotions or ask for permission from your fears. Discipline is the quiet decision to show up when every part of you wants to quit. It is the ability to act without enthusiasm, to move forward without excitement, and to continue without applause. This is why discipline will take you places motivation never can, because discipline is built on commitment, not convenience, and commitment survives long after motivation disappears. Think about how many times you felt motivated at night, full of dreams, full of plans, promising yourself that tomorrow everything would change. And then morning came, heavy, silent, demanding effort instead of imagination. Motivation stayed in bed while reality stood waiting. This is where most people fail, not because they lack desire, but because they rely on desire to do the work of discipline. Desire is easy. Discipline is uncomfortable. Desire loves comfort, discipline thrives in discomfort. Discipline means waking up early even when your body screams for rest. It means working when there is no reward in sight, when progress is invisible, when results are delayed. Motivation loves results. Discipline creates them. Discipline is not about being extreme or perfect. It is about being consistent when inconsistency feels easier. It is the ability to keep promises to yourself even when no one is watching. Anyone can work hard when they feel inspired, when they feel seen, when they feel praised. Very few can work hard in silence, in boredom, in repetition. Discipline lives in those moments. It lives in the daily routines that feel boring but build extraordinary outcomes. It lives in the decision to train when you are tired, to study when you are bored, to practice when improvement feels slow. These small, disciplined actions compound over time into results that look like talent, luck, or genius from the outside. Motivation asks, "Do I feel like doing this today?" Discipline asks, "What needs to be done?" Motivation depends on emotion. Discipline depends on identity. When you decide who you are, your actions follow. A disciplined person does not wait to feel like working out, they work out because that is who they are. They do not wait for motivation to study, they study because they are committed to their future. Discipline is a vote you cast every day for the person you want to become. Every small act of discipline reinforces that identity. Every skipped commitment weakens it. The uncomfortable truth is that discipline often feels like punishment at the beginning. It feels restrictive, exhausting, and unfair. It feels like saying no to things you want in the moment for things you want more in the long term. It feels like sacrifice without guarantee. That is why most people avoid it. They want results without routine, success without structure, growth without pain. But the people who win understand something different. They understand that discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. It frees you from the chaos of inconsistency. It frees you from the guilt of broken promises. It frees you from the anxiety of wasted potential. The more disciplined you become, the more control you gain over your life. Discipline trains your mind before it transforms your life. When you force yourself to act despite resistance, you strengthen mental endurance. You teach your brain that discomfort is not danger, that boredom is not a threat, that effort is not optional. Over time, this rewires the way you respond to challenges. You stop running from hard things. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop asking for permission from fear. Discipline builds trust between you and yourself. When you know you will do what you said you would do, confidence becomes natural. You do not need external validation when you have internal integrity. Motivation often creates intense bursts of effort followed by long periods of inactivity. Discipline creates steady progress. And steady progress always wins. One disciplined hour every day will outperform 10 motivated hours once a month. Discipline understands the power of momentum. Even on bad days, discipline shows up at a lower level rather than disappearing entirely. It understands that something is always better than nothing. It understands that consistency beats intensity. Over time, those small, consistent efforts build an unstoppable rhythm. There will be days when discipline feels heavy, when it feels like you are carrying a weight no one else can see. Days when quitting feels logical, when resting feels deserved, when excuses feel reasonable. Discipline does not mean ignoring exhaustion or destroying yourself. It means honoring your long-term vision over short-term comfort. It means knowing the difference between rest and avoidance. Discipline teaches you to rest without quitting and to push without burning out. It is intelligent persistence, not blind suffering. Look at any great achievement and you will not find motivation as the foundation. You will find habits. You will find routines. You will find boring, repetitive actions done consistently over time. Athletes train when they are sore. Writers write when they have nothing to say. Students study when they would rather scroll. Entrepreneurs show up when profits are uncertain. None of them rely on motivation alone. They rely on discipline because discipline does not disappear when things get hard. Motivation does. Discipline also teaches humility. It reminds you that you are not special enough to skip the process. That talent without discipline is potential wasted. That intelligence without consistency is irrelevant. That dreams without execution are fantasies. Discipline grounds you in reality. It forces you to respect the process, to earn progress instead of demanding it. And in doing so, it transforms you from someone who hopes into someone who acts. Over time, discipline changes the way you see yourself. You stop identifying as someone who tries and start identifying as someone who finishes. You stop chasing motivation and start building systems. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. Discipline makes your future predictable, not because life becomes easy, but because you become reliable. When challenges come, you do not panic. You respond. You have trained for this. You have built the habits. You trust your process. One of the greatest lies is that discipline kills creativity or joy. In reality, discipline creates space for both. When your basics are handled, your mind is free. When your routines are solid, your energy is protected. Discipline removes decision fatigue. You no longer waste mental energy deciding whether to act. You simply act. This clarity creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates joy, not the other way around. Discipline is choosing the hard now to avoid the harder later. It is choosing structure over chaos, effort over excuses, growth over comfort. It is choosing to be uncomfortable on purpose so you are not uncomfortable by force. Life will demand discipline either way. You can apply it voluntarily through daily habits, or you can learn it painfully through regret. Discipline is the cheaper option. Eventually, something powerful happens. What once felt like discipline becomes normal. What once felt hard becomes routine. What once felt impossible becomes expected. At that point, you are no longer forcing yourself forward. You are carried by the momentum you built. Motivation may come and go, but it no longer controls you. You have something stronger. You have self-mastery. Discipline will take you places motivation never can because discipline does not depend on how you feel. It depends on who you decide to be. When you stop waiting to feel ready and start acting with commitment, your life changes direction. Not overnight, not dramatically, but permanently. Discipline builds a life quietly, steadily, relentlessly. And one day, you look back and realize you crossed distances you once thought were impossible, not because you felt motivated, but because you refused to quit. If there is one decision that separates those who talk from those who achieve, it is the decision to act without motivation. To work when it is boring. To continue when it is hard. To show up when no one cares. Discipline is not loud. It does not announce itself. It works in silence. But its results speak louder than any motivational speech ever could.